Hi everyone, LiberAnarchy here, and I was wondering if people might want to give me their input on some thoughts I've had, and this will be a little bit hard to explain, um, but just bear with me, and I certainly don't mind being criticized, but in all honesty, if you post turn or burn stuff, I'll just laugh at you. Or if you just say you're stupid and crazy, I'll laugh at you and say, yes, the internet is serious business, and move right along. If you want to be taken seriously, at least try to exercise a certain level of civility. Okay? Alright. So I was thinking about existence, right? Oh, existence. Like, in the meaning of it all. Well, I was thinking about how, on a quantum level, on a subatomic level, you have electrons that disappear and then reappear in a different space. In fact, they're basically what you have is things fluctuating from non-existence to existence. Now I realize this is at the quantum level, so I'm not going to say, oh, therefore we can just, pray the cancer away or something like that, because a lot of people make some quantum leaps. But I was thinking that perhaps non-existence, or perhaps even in some sort of strange floating point state between existence and non-existence, there does exist what humans have interpreted as the divine or the spirit world or something. There exists the sort of void slash emptiness that people have perhaps in one capacity or another experienced, and they apply religious language to it. And in this level of non-existence, that is where all things are connected. Though how people would experience this, I'm not sure. People can say, meditation or psychedelics, but what faculties do we have that would allow us to perceive this perceive non-existence, or perceive the state between existence and non-existence, should said state actually exist? Wait a minute. Anyway, so let's say we have this non-existence, this emptiness that fills all things, and and so we are all, the foundation of existence is this emptiness, and since all things are filled with this emptiness, that is where all things become connected, and in a sense all things do become one. And perhaps this is where the void that people talk of as being the nothing that is all things exist, and the all things comes into play, where in that nothing is yet created, but this is the space where the cat can either live or die. This is the state where it's both. And so this becomes the state where all possibilities still exist, and that is perhaps some level of reality that people may draw upon or draw from or have some sort of sensation of when having certain types of religious experiences. However, throughout human civilization, we've only been able to interpret this in some sort of religious capacity, so we make up religious terms, right? And so we could call this chaos or the divine, or we could call it pepperoni pizza if we really wanted to. Hell, we could use variablast and call it nigger if we want. Nigger and quantum mechanics. Okay, never mind. Niggering the new age, yes. Okay, I'm sorry, yeah, that's gonna get way off topic and offend somebody. But incidentally, I'm making fun of varioblasts, and if you don't know the situation, you can go research it, and yeah, so... Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. Okay, so we have this. Now, granted, now I'm just off in speculation land. It's not like I'm making distinct logical. Um, I'm not making a logical progression from one point to another. This happens, therefore this happens, therefore this happens. I'm off in la la land. I'm off in speculation land. I know this. So, let's say this non-existent state is what people are talking about in a lot of cases when they're talking about the divine. This place where all things potentially exist, kind of the all and nothing void space, right? So, let's say then that when trying to access this space that people refer to in religious terms, so we can call it the divine, or we can call it chaos or something, when trying to access this divine, no human being could ever process it and understand it in any coherent way, right? So, what may happen then, is that we filter this, and these filters become what we would recognize as mythical beings, gods, monsters, etc. And what may be happening is the human mind is filtering out the stuff that we don't understand, that we can't understand, that an individual can't process, and then and these filters are perhaps cultural, come from our background, or come from what we studied, what we haven't studied, what etc. and so on and so forth. These filters can come from all different places, and so once stuff we can't fathom is filtered out, we are left with what we can, and that then ends up becoming something like a deity, or any other kind of form, any other thing that could be interpreted as a symbol or an entity or something, right? So, and since our minds are very powerful, we can, in fact, wrap our heads around quite a lot, even if it is in proportion an infinitesimal piece of the whole divine, right? So we are then faced with really awesome entities, supposedly. The divine, a very small piece of the divine that gets through our filters then ends up becoming the sort of deities that we may work with in ritual, or that we may pray to, or even meditate upon, or access spontaneously in weird states in between wake and sleep, right? Okay, so we have with the filters, and we have this piece of the divine, but since the filters are from us, since we through all our cultural conditioning, and through things that we have studied, and through friendships and love relationships, and personal paradigms and goofy experiences, basically because we are the ones that do the filtering, what is left is a reflection of us, in that it is a reflection of the filters. So essentially, the things that an occultist may work with, the entities that an occultist, or even just a run-of-the-mill religious person who believes in, say, a triune God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or something like that, is really ultimately a reflection of that person, a reflection of their filters, and what gets through becomes a reflection of that person. So perhaps if you're trying to access the darkness, it becomes a reflection of your fears, or your subconscious, or your baggage that you're ready to access and work with, and when you're trying to access, say, an archetype of, say, a warrior or a herbalist or a teacher, etc. You are seeing those aspects ultimately of yourself. Because again, you are the one that provides the filters, therefore you are the one that, via the editing of the infinite, are providing the finite image. Therefore, the gods, the angels, the devils, the fairies, the elves, all the things that a religious or a non-religious person could associate with on this level of symbolism and meaning and ritual and na are actually, in fact, reflections of ourselves. Okay, so thanks for listening to me ramble if you actually got this far, and go ahead and let me know what you think. Have I really gone off the rails this time? Have I ever been on the rails? No. Okay, so I'm hanging out so YouTube doesn't cut me off. That's my tagline. I should open my videos with that. And my cat isn't here, or else I'd show you my cat.